arterial supply to the upper limb. The arterial supply to the upper limb is delivered via 5 main vessels. The 5 main vessels are subclavian artery, axillary artery, brachial artery, radial artery, and ulnar artery. In this picture, you can see these arteries: subclavian artery, axillary artery, brachial artery, ulnar artery, and the radial artery. Axillary artery supply the axilla, brachial artery supply the upper arm, ulnar and radial artery supplies the forearm, and the palmar artery supply different arteries of the hand. In this picture, let us see the origin of different vessels of the upper arm. From the left ventricle, ascending aorta. The ascending aorta arches and gives 3 main branches: left subclavian, left common carotid, and brachiocephalic trunk. The left subclavian continues as left axillary artery and its branches. The brachiocephalic trunk gives rise to right subclavian and right common carotid. Right subclavian continues as right axillary and its branches. You can note a difference here. The right subclavian is a branch of brachiocephalic trunk which originates from arch of aorta, whereas the left subclavian directly originates from arch of aorta. Coming to the details of subclavian artery. As we have seen already, the arterial supply to the upper limb begins as the subclavian artery. The arterial supply to the upper limb is started from subclavian artery. On the right side, this artery originates from brachiocephalic trunk. On the left side, it is directly from the arch of aorta. You can see a muscle here, green colored muscle, that is called a scalenus anterior or anterior scalene muscle. This is the lateral border of the muscle and this is the medial border of the muscle. Based on the position of this muscle and the subclavian artery, it is divided into 3 parts. Based on the position of the anterior scalenus muscle, subclavian artery is divided into 3 parts. The first part, it is near to the medial border of the scalene muscle. This is the medial border. So the first part is near to the medial border. We cannot see the first part here. The second part is posterior or under the anterior scalene muscle. The second part is under this muscle, which is also invisible in the picture. The third part is near to the lateral border of the muscle. This is the lateral border and we can see here. The third part is near to the lateral border of scalenus anterior muscle. So this is the lateral third part of the subclavian artery. Then this is the another landmark is first rib. This is the first rib. Then under the lateral border of the first rib, this is the lateral border of the first rib, this axillary artery originates as a continuation of subclavian artery. In other words, at the lateral border of the first rib, subclavian artery enters the axilla and it is renamed as the axillary artery. Subclavian artery, it is a main blood supply to the upper limb. It is a continuation of brachiocephalic trunk on the right side and on the left side it directly originates from arch of aorta. It is divided into 3 parts based on its position in the anterior scalene muscle. The first part near to the medial border, second part posterior to the muscle, and third part lateral to the muscle. At the lateral border of first rib, it enters the axilla and it is renamed as the axillary artery. Coming to the details of axillary artery. Here you have to remind about a muscle called a pectoralis minor. The middle part of this pectoralis minor muscle is shown here just to expose the underlying axillary artery. So this is the green colored muscle is the pectoralis minor muscle. So the lateral border of the muscle, the medial border of the muscle, then under the muscle. The axillary artery, which is near to the pectoralis muscle, that is the first part. The part of the axillary artery near to the muscle. This is the pectoralis muscle. So near to the muscle or proximal to the muscle, that is the first part. Then the part of the axillary artery that lies under or posterior to the muscle, it is the second part. This is the second part. And that lies distal to the muscle, it is called the third part. The part of the axillary muscle in the lateral border is the third part. Under it is the second part, and medial to the muscle, or that medial to the medial border of the muscle, that is the first part. The first part, second part, and the third part. Then all these parts give rise to different arteries again. From the first part, superior thoracic artery originates. From the second part, thoracoacromial artery and lateral thoracic artery give rise. Then the third part, subscapular artery, anterior and posterior circumflex artery originates. The first part give rise to superior thoracic artery branch. Second part, thoracoacromial artery and lateral thoracic artery originate. And from the third part, three arteries originate, that is subscapular artery, anterior circumflex artery, and posterior circumflex artery. This anterior and posterior circumflex artery supply blood to the surgical neck of the humerus. So when this part of the humerus fractures, these arteries are easily damaged. You can see another muscle here, that is the teres major muscle. This is the lower border of the teres major muscle. At the lower border of this muscle, or here, at the lower border of this muscle, this axillary artery is renamed as the brachial artery. In short, brachial artery is the continuation of axillary artery at the lower border of the teres major muscle. The axillary artery under the pectoralis minor muscle, or in relation to the pectoralis minor muscle, the axillary artery has three portion or three parts. Proximal to the muscle, first part, under the muscle, second part, and lateral to the muscle, third part. All these parts give rise to different arteries. The first part is superior thoracic artery, second part thoracoacromial artery and lateral thoracic artery, third part subscapular artery, anterior and posterior circumflex artery, which supplies surgical neck of the humerus. Then at the lower border of teres major muscle, this artery, axillary artery, is renamed as brachial artery. Coming to the details of brachial artery, it is the continuation of axillary artery. It is the main blood supply to the upper arm. Then again remember about the teres major muscle here. Just distal to this muscle, brachial artery gives off a branch called profunda brachii. It supplies posterior aspect of the upper arm. The blood supply of the posterior aspect of the upper arm is from profunda brachii, which is a branch of brachial artery just distal to the teres major muscle. Then this brachial artery continues till the cubital fossa. In the cubital fossa, see the picture. In the cubital fossa, it bifurcates into two branches, radial artery and ulnar artery. In the cubital fossa, brachial artery terminates into radial and ulnar artery. So the brachial artery, it is a continuation of axillary artery at the lower border of teres major muscle. Then here it gives a branch called profunda brachii. It supplies posterior aspect of the upper arm. The brachial artery continues into the cubital fossa, where it bifurcates into radial and ulnar artery. Here you can see the arterial supply of the forearm, that is from radial and ulnar branches. As you have already seen, the radial and ulnar arteries are formed by the bifurcation of brachial artery in the cubital fossa. The radial artery, this is the radial artery. It supplies anterolateral aspect of the forearm. In the distal fora, here you can palpate the radial pulse. Then about the ulnar artery, it supplies medio-anterior aspect or anterior-medial aspect of the forearm. Then just near to the cubital fossa, it gives off a branch called a common interosseous artery. It bifurcates into posterior interosseous artery and anterior interosseous artery, which supply the deeper structures of the forearm. The brachial artery terminates into ulnar artery and radial artery in the cubital fossa. Radial artery supplies posterior lateral aspect of the forearm. Ulnar artery supply anterior medial aspect of the forearm. Then near to the cubital fossa, the ulnar artery gives rise to common interosseous artery, which further branches into posterior interosseous artery and anterior interosseous artery, supplying deeper structures of the forearm. Coming to the blood supply of the hand, it is from two arches, superficial and deep palmar arches. The superficial palmar arch is located in the dorsal aspect of the hand. The deep palmar arch is located deep to the flexor tendons of the hand. These arches, this is the superficial arch, this is the deep palmar arch. Both of these arches are formed by radial artery and ulnar artery. The radial artery continues and unites with the ulnar artery to form superficial palmar arch. The common digital arteries originate from the superficial palmar arch. Then the deep palmar arch also formed by a branch of radial artery and a branch of ulnar artery. It supplies the wrist joint and the thumb. It supplies the wrist joint and the thumb. Superficial palmar arch supplies the 4 digits. The hand, the arterial supply of the hand is from superficial and deep palmar arch. They are formed by the union of radial and ulnar artery. The deep palmar arch supplies the wrist joint and the thumb. The superficial palmar arch supplies the remaining fingers of the hand. That is the end of arterial supply of the upper limb.